cooking event, but participant is all servants that are bad at cooking or making strange meals. It could happen, right? Like we have the servants to do it. We have the technology, my friend. It's just that they don't try, which makes me cry. The possibility is there. We gotta just take it. Wasn't that Enmate? It wasn't really, but there was a side mission for it, right? Where we tried to whatchamacallit. Enmate spoke about these characters that attempted cooking. It wasn't all about bad cooking. You get what I mean? That was just a side story. Zune. We're talking about, like, you know how Ilya fucking Lotto event occurred? We want something like that. Like, where the cooking event is actually an event, not a side story. And we have more servants that cannot cook. So, because we have more servants that cannot cook, it's low-key perfect to have this cooking event. And we have memes, right? Like, for instance, Abby Pancakes. For instance, Tomoe can't cook, but she'll charcoal everything in their mom. Kiyohime can technically cook, but she gets a little too passionate and ruins everything when she gets a mind to it. Tamamo, OG Tamamo cannot cook. Understand that OG Tamamo cannot cook, but the Berserker cat can cook due to the fact that Berserker took the cooking part of Tamamo, as well as some of her capabilities. So OG Tamamo technically can cook, but cannot cook efficiently as Berserker Tamamo. OG Tamamo to give you diabetes? Something like that. Pretty much. It's so sweet, you'll be drowning in it. It's true. I can agree with that. Because Berserker Tamamo knows what's best. Because that's where all the cooking lesson from Benny Emma was taken. Double X, I believe can now finally open cans, if I remember correctly, and make cup noodles without exploding, which is very good improvement. I think Space Ishtar First Ascension cannot cook, if I remember correctly, because she's a princess wannabe. And who else can't cook, chat? Ibaraki. Ibaraki can't cook for shit because she wants candy instead. And technically Castoria, because anything that Castoria makes, it just turns into a sword. No matter what you do, it'll just turn into a sword. So Castoria has a fundamental problem. She technically doesn't have a cooking problem, I think. She just has a fate problem. What else? Who else can't cook, chat? And then, like, the entire saga, right, where MASH technically MASH became an apprentice cooker. Because in the side quest in the Enmate, you could actually, you could actually see MASH kind of train by my daughter for a moment. So she became an apprentice, right? They could go on an entire event where they make MASH into a professional cooker, which could be a possibility. What about Salter? Did Salter cook? I don't think she can cook. I think she's more of a junk food whore. No! She technically can cook, but everything turns into junk food. That's what it is. You're right, Eddie. Technically, Salter can cook. However, all her food turns into junk food. Because she only cares about junk food. Let's fight together until our wallet is dead, just like we fought in LP7 KegW. Sounds dangerous, always is. But yeah. Like, the event capability is endless, right? Because remember, The newest servant Archer, right? The newest servant Archer, which technically is Sugitani Junzenbo, Zenjubo. She can cook, right? Because she's cooked. She specifically stated that she can cook meats, right? There's like 5 million other characters that can cook, and then there's be like taste testers like Merlin. There'd be taste testers like, Caesar and shit. And there's gonna be like some rigging in effect and all that, and everybody wants to become the best cooker on planet Earth because they want to peas master, but they have to fight the four. Was it four? I think it was like five, 4 or 5 heavenly cooks, right? Which is like Emiya. Um, the 4 heavenly cooks are no, I think it's five. I think it's 5 heavenly cooks. It's Emiya, Boudica, my daughter, my daughter, Tamamo Cat, and then last but not least, Bima. Because if you don't know, Bima likes cooking. Bima is a experimentalist. My boy's a good cook. What about a food war event? That's what I'm kind of suggesting, right? Kind of like a food war circumstances. Kyrie can cook too. That is technically true. However, we never once seen him in the kitchen. He's always out of the kitchen, right, Zune? Arceus. So technically, in lore wise, he can cook. We still have not officially seen him in the event in the kitchen. And even if he is in the kitchen, the only thing he creates is Mapo Tofu, which is a problem. He has the Salter problem, where Salter can technically cook, but everything she touches, she has the Castoria problem. Everything they touch kind of becomes either junk food, a sword, or Mapo Tofu, right? So, while I say he can cook, he's not like the quote unquote the 5 elites, right? Like you've always seen all 5 characters, which is Bima, Tamamo Cat, Beniema, and Boudica, and Emiya. They're always in the kitchen, always. Erisa doesn't mind that at all. You're right, right? Erisa doesn't mind it. In technicality, um, a lot of people don't mind it. I think there's like 4 super hot spicy consumer in FGO currently that are perfectly okay with it. Is it 4? I think so. I think adding Ruler Kenshin, it'll be 4. Sounds like a final season of Shokugeki. Exactly, right? Don't you want that to happen, right? Like in order for you to do things, you need to beat the 5 super elites, right? All the cooks. In order to pass as like officially recognized as a chef staff. You have to beat the 5 people in their criteria. Dun dun dun. How are you gonna get a servant from there? It doesn't matter, right? Like it could be a welfare, it could be a 5-star, right? And they could add a new genre, right? A cooking welfare servant. Who cares? Salter always makes junk food. However, nobody tastes it due to the fact that she eats it faster than anybody else once it's made. That is true. I think that's what happened in one of the Enma event. Yeah, because I think Salter attempted it, and she was just like, I can make food. And like my daughter didn't have a chance to try because she's just fucking munching on it already. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. But yes, Salter technically can cook. What about the classic sabers? Um, I believe OG Saber can. She can do the minimum cooking. I believe she's not garbage. The minimum Saber OG can cook. Um, for a fact, Artoria Pendragon Lily has the potential to cook. Nero Claudius cannot fucking cook. Siegfried is a man that probably can cook if he put his mind on it and if he's doing it for Creamhill. Julius Caesar, my man is thick, all right? Listen, whenever he's thick, he's eating good. Whether he's cooking it or not, he probably has the basic commonality of cooking in order to feast himself to this degree, all right? So my man is thick, and because they're thick, he's fat. And he's fat, that means he knows how to cook. My boy will eat. He's a big boy. And if he's a big boy, they know usually how to cook. Okay? It's common factors, chat. Remember that. If they're tummy thick, they know how to eat. That means that to a basic degree, they know how to cook. Altera probably has a problem cooking. Due to the fact that she is a hungry hippo character, but at the same time she doesn't have that patience. But once she learns and understands the power of patience to make food good, I think she will implement the good civilization mechanics, right, and become a decent chef. He's fat, therefore there's a sign of wealth. That is true, right? Fat equals wealth, but at the same time, it also means that he knows at least how to cook basics to keep himself alive. Gordov could be the final boss. That could be true. He could be like the 90, like final node boss, where once everybody's done, you have to battle Gordov for his delicious bacon plus his like sweet, his pâtissier technique. Because Gordov be cooking. My boy cooks some good stuff. Because remember, it's delicious enough for Fokun to eat it. Which means that we've got the croissant and the bacon approval. Now mix those two together. God damn, you got yourself a singularity, brother. Sheesh! Gordon be cooking. Going back to it, Gil de Reyes, Gil Saber, Lily probably can cook. Minimum, I believe. Chevalier, aka Dion. Celine Dion probably can cook because he's always with Mary Antoinette, right? So, Okta Soji, I think she can cook like rice balls. I think she can make that basic shit, but not fully cooking, right? And she'll probably be an interesting character to have like a cooking servant form on. Fergus McRoy, he's not gonna cook. He's one of those few characters that he's not gonna cook because he's gonna be half naked 99% of the time whenever the ladies are cooking and says, "Make babies with me," so I don't have to cook. So you could cook for my children, all that jazz. So he's out of the question. Like we can have a meme beating his ass up. Mordred, you probably see Mordred cook due to the fact that technically OG can cook and technically Salter can make delicious junk food. Therefore, she wants to be better than her father. Therefore, she can become a new welfare cooking servant and just be like, I'm going to be my dad, right? She's got that spunk, right? I'm going to be better than my dad spunk. So she can definitely be a cooking welfare servant. Nero Claudius, of course, Nero Claudius Bride. Bride can cook. Compared to the OG Saber, she definitely can cook to a degree, but she can definitely learn more, right? So there's a possibility of her becoming a welfare. But at the same time, Bride can cook compared to OG Saber because she tried for it. But it's not good, right? It's not perfect, right? She can probably do like the basics because you have to learn how to cook as a quote unquote bride back in the day and know some basics to it. Cooking food is cool and all, but Morgan can straight up cook children, though. I mean, sure, right? We're not there yet, right? Spoilers. Calm down. We haven't even gotten to the Berserker yet. Rugi Shiki, 100%. She can cook, all right? If you've seen Rugi Shiki, she'll cook. The Saber can cook. Assassin is Kek W. She can do the minimum. Assassin can do the minimum, but the Saber, she'll probably fucking can cook, just cause the way she appropriates herself. If she cannot cook, right, she'll definitely will have the knowledge to cook because she can. Because because you know who she is. Okay, if you know who she is, cannot cook, we've got problems. I don't know if you want to reach the end. All right, if you can't cook. If you've reached the end, I'm pretty sure you can cook decently. All right. Rama. Rama's definitely type where Sheeta cooks. Because Rama's characteristic is, do this for me. But at the same time, he is a king that is known to eat bananas. But because Rama haven't had his wife for 5 million years, right? Remember Rama's lore. Rama doesn't technically have a wife because Rama got fucked. Okay, so Rama can cook. He's got that male taste, right? He's got the boy taste, meaning that it's very strong, right? It's a flavor that every male would enjoy, but to a female, it might be a little unslightly, or it might be a little strong in odor, or it's but he can cook for sure. He hasn't had a wife to cook for 5 million years, all right? My boy can at least cook. Lancelot, I mean, let's be honest, Lancelot can cook because, in order to slide into wives' DMs, you're gonna need to learn how to cook. All right? It's a possibility that he doesn't know how to cook, and that would also be a funny segment to have. Lancelot most likely can cook. All right. It's a most likely. I don't know for sure, but it's definitely most likely. Every single one of the round tables technically can cook, but I don't think they can cook as best as Gawain. Because remember, Gawain was the elite potato masher. Okay? Like, if you level the playing field of every Knights of the Round Table, Gawain stands on top. Because it's a lore that Gawain, right? It is a lore that Gawain can cook. But he can only cook mashed shit, right? Which is funny as fuck. But at the same time, like I said, Lancelot's mastery of everything is gonna play a role, right? The boy fucking mastered a stick to beat that ass with a spatula. I'm pretty sure the motherfucker, if given kitchen utensils, he's just gonna master that shit no problem and be like, oh, I can cook now. Both Gawains are in CE right now, technically in the NA event. Exactly, right? And then we'll talk about Burgess later. So they can cook. Bedivere, he has a butler clothing, therefore he can cook. And simultaneously, my man's a gentleman. He's even got tea for you. So if he can't cook, we got problems. Elizabeth Bathory, we'll move on. Muchachi, I mean, listen, all right. If Elizabeth be cooking, you better watch out. Get the fuck out of the kitchen. Out. Everybody out of the kitchen. If Ellie is cooking, you got some fucking red alert situation. Especially in her Saber form, right? Listen. She can eat all the food raw. Okay? She can cook, maybe, but what's gonna happen is that every time she's cooking something, some sort of shit is going to jump out of the stove, cup, whatever, and it's gonna touch her skin, and she's gonna panic. She's gonna swing her tail, destroys the entire kitchen, destroys the entire food, cries, therefore her scream amplifies and destroys the entire kitchen, okay? She cannot cook because she's definitely a person who can have a possibility to have a cooking rehabilitation, but as long as she's wearing that bikini armor, we're fucked. Because she's just gonna panic. Every time something sizzling touches her, she's gonna fucking panic. Muchachi. Um, I think Muchachi can cook, but I don't think she'll be she'll summon Eldritch monster like with Abby. Yes, most likely so. But it'll be more chaotic. Musashi, she can probably cook instant noodles, like instant shit. She's down, right? Like there, she's on par with like Knights of the Round Table people, where she will cook whatever she kills that isn't human, right? Like she'll cook fucking dead demonic animals and shit. She'll be able to do that, but regular cooking wise, I think Musashi will struggle just a bit. But she won't be bad at it, right? Because she knows how to use the sword. Therefore, she should know how to use a knife. Arthur Pendragon, so male Arthur, right? He can definitely cook. I believe there's a lore somewhere in Prototype that he cooking. The boy can cook. He be busting out some dishes and shit. So, without further ado, I don't think Prototype needs anything. I think him getting into an event itself is a pog champ because we miss him dearly, right? Suzuka. In Emate lore, I believe Suzuka is pretty decent at cooking. But she tries to put love potion like a spell. She always kind of just like add one little too much to her cooking. So she definitely needs a cooking rehabilitation. Because Suzuka is okay at cooking. She really is because she wants to be JK. But she always does like a step or two too much. So she definitely is a potential candidate to be like in the event to be like, oh, I'm gonna be better or X, Y, and Z, right? Like a welfare is a possibility. Fran can be a welfare. Like we get a welfare Fran, cooking Fran, right? Like we got cooking Martha, we can just get a cooking Fran. That'll be so cute. Fran will be a very cute cooking servant welfare because she's gonna learn everything, right? She's gonna be like the machine. She's gonna be like the Gordon Ramsay's replica because she's Frankenstein's monsters replica, right? So any electronics, she's gonna be like beep 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 beep, right, with her lightning. At first, her lightning is going to overload every single electronic kitchenware on planet Earth. But like when you final ascension her, she's like the fucking electronic cooker like master. Yagyu Munenori. I'm pretty sure your boy can cook basic stuff. The old man Yagyu can definitely do it. 100%. Old man can cook. He's not gonna cook fancy, but he's gonna cook that nostalgic simple dish that you're gonna be like, that's cooking right there. Sigurd, you already know fucking Sigurd can cook, alright? For Brynhilda, he'll fucking cook a full course meal and more, okay? While he's getting his fucking back stabbed by Brynhilda, right? He'll be cooking while he's getting his ass beat. While Brynhilda's just chainsawing him down. He's fucking, adjusting the soup to the right consistency. So, I'm pretty sure Sigurd can cook. At least the FGO one. Because the power of love cannot be stopped. And he has guts, Queen Meb. You already know Meb can do it. Meb can do it. Meb, it's not in her DNA. It's not in her Saint Graph to do it. She can't. Not in, especially in her Saber form. If she's in a swimsuit form, she's just gonna model. She's gonna be in the background, fucking showing her body off while everybody else is cooking. She's just gonna be a pure distraction. Just be like, fuck cooking. Cooking is, you know, people exist to cook for me, right? That's what she's gonna say while she's posing in her fucking deluxe edition with her penguin, right? Dermot can cook. Boy can cook. Dermot, Saber, and Lancer can definitely cook. There's no doubt about that. Your boy knows how to swoo a woman through a magical mole. Boy can cook. And at the same time, event circumstances. He helped out to some degree. He wasn't perfect, but he can definitely get better. So he can definitely be like a chef Dermot, right? If it wants to. Lang Ling, my boy Lang Ling is definitely going to be a good chef. Because Chef Lang Ling, A, sounds cool, and B, he had to deal with Consort U. So therefore, if he wants to impress Consort U, he's got some cooking skills in him, right? And every pretty boy knows how to cook to a decent extent. So, yes. We don't have to talk about my daughter. As always, my daughter is the best cook on planet Earth. She is one of the 5 elites, right, of cooking in FGO currently. So there's just no debate about that. Moving on. Lakshmi Bai. It will be the funniest shit to see Lakshmi Bai cook. Because remember, she has unlucky buff, right? Like, have you seen Undead Unluck? She's literally Unluck incarnate. So she would make an entire dish, right? Like, she would be so scared that she, like, slowly moves and get all the dishes right, right? And then what's going to happen? What's going to happen is the following. She's going to try to give the dish to the judge or master. She's gonna fucking trip. She's gonna trip. She's gonna bump into somebody. Something is going to happen that's just gonna ruin the dish, right? Or she gets so paranoid that when she's cooking, blows something up on accident. Just cause. Just cause of her Lakshmi Bai debuff. And it'll be the funniest thing on planet Earth. Or, right, or there we will have like a whole challenge quest where we just protect Lakshmi Bai from everything, including herself, right? Like, so the entire objective is to protect Lakshmi Bai, and there's gonna be some enemies that's gonna try to attack Lakshmi Bai, and then there's gonna be like debuff where Lakshmi Bai like loses HP because she's tripping, right? Or skill seal herself because she fucking accidentally bit her tongue, or she spilled something on an ingredient, right? So she can't noble phantasm or whatnot. Like, your entire goal is to protect Lakshmi Bai as a challenge quest on healing, defensive mechanism, and like having guts and shit. Because she's the big raid boss, right? That technically is not a raid boss because she can't help herself cause misfortune because she is, you know, she has the deity of misfortune. Jason, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure Jason can cook to an extent. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good cook, but I think Jason can cook to a certain degree. Like it'll be like a C D tier of cooking for sure. Katsushika Hokusai Saber, aka Oi, right? Oi, which is Katsushika Hokusai's kid, by the way. Oi will most likely be ADHD. Like, she can't just fucking sit there, right? She's gonna be like so ADHD and jittery and be like, I can't stand this shit, pops. I can't just fucking sit there and wait for this XYZ to cook. But I think she's gonna be a decent cook. I believe it. Astolfo Saber. I'm gonna tell you straight up, he can't cook. Astolfo Saber can't cook. The boy legitimately forgets that he's cooking like 2 seconds. Astolfo is gonna be in the kitchen, and Astolfo is gonna be like, "What am I doing in the kitchen?" Like 2 minutes later. The boy will not understand what the concept of cooking is because the motherfucker has no brain. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, cooking's so fun. Ha ha ha. Yeah." All right, I'm bored. Right. And then if he's asked to do cooking stuff, he's gonna be like, "How do I cook again?" Right. He'll learn every single technique. He takes like 2 to 3 steps forward. I don't know what I'm doing. And he'll burn the whole fucking kitchen down. He's like, "This looks fun. I'll add this. I'll add some explosives. Yeah, explosive cooking." That's what Astolfo Saber would do. He'll definitely blow up the kitchen faster than he'll make food. Deal scoring. I think the brother is going to bitch and moan, while the sister would definitely be a cook, right? You definitely would see the what's her name? Porcus. Porcus. Yeah, Porcus definitely be the chef in the Saber circumstances, while the brother is going to be assisting Porcus 100%, right? Because he's a brother figure that wants to show off to everybody that he's the best brother that she could ever have, right? And nobody fucking touches her. Simultaneously, he's gonna bitch and moan about cooking because he doesn't want to cook. But both of them together, very effective team. They're very strong because the brother's gonna be the assist while the sister's gonna be the chef. So very powerful cook, but Castor is going to bitch and moan. Bitch and moan 24/7. 100%. But he's also going to be the one that says, "My sister's cooking is the best. Any one of you cooking underneath her fucking toes." You get what I mean? He's like the hype man for Porcus at the same time. Her best assistant. Tomoe goes in Saber. Tomoe goes in Saber. I bet. I 100% you bet. She will not be able to cook. But if she has the VR headset on and she like thinks this as a cooking simulator, I bet you she's gonna be the best chef on planet Earth. Like all you need is another VR headset that simulates cooking simulator and give her the basic tutorial and tell her to do that shit IRL. You get what I mean? So like her katanas are gonna be fucking like utensils and knives and shit. Right? And by giving her the cooking simulator, right, disc or like VR headset, she's gonna be a professional chef. Only as long as she thinks that she's in a fucking game. Once that illusion is gone, some way, somehow, kitchen's on fire. Kitchen just combusts, just randomly, just because she's just like, "I got this. More power, more fire." And you're just like, "Oh no, holy shit. Like you were doing so well. Put your fucking game headset back on." But this is on Saber, right? This only works on Saber because she has the VR headset mechanic. Hajime Saito. My boy can cook. Hajime can definitely cook, for sure. For real, for real. My boy Hajime, he's not going to be the best chef ever. I can almost guarantee you. But I believe the boy, he had a family. So, to a decent extent, man can cook. He's not going to be the best. He's probably going to be average, but he can cook. Watanabe no Tsuba, the boy can cook. 100% without a doubt. The man can cook. Why can he cook? It's for Ibaraki's sake. The power of love. Too strong. For the sake of Ibaraki to have a healthy diet, if needed, the boy's gonna be a chef. Okay? Just understand that Watanabe no Tsuna, he can cook. He'll probably throw a few demon bones in it too. Good. He'll probably have like some fixation on some certain degrees, right? But he can cook. Ibuki, Saber form, in her original form, stage 1, hell no. Stage 2, yes. I believe in stage 2, Ibuki can definitely cook. On stage 3, no. Because stage 1 and stage 2 kind of got that divinity shenanigans. Stage 3, she's too big, okay? She can't fit in the fucking kitchen on stage 3. She's too thick. She's gonna be like, I can't get in the kitchen. Stage 2, she can nerf herself to some extent, and wearing that sweater and while cooking, she can cook. Okay? Yeah, in order to appease Master, I'm pretty sure Ibuki can cook. Santa Carna, you already know the boy cooks. The problem with Santa Carna is that he's gonna have to cook with his fist. The boy cannot slice, so the boy can only create like mashed potato style food. Everything is mashed for Carna, Saber. Why? Because the Santa has to show his cooking through his fist, okay? In some way, somehow, every dish that he'll attempt to make, in the end, is a mashed potato. Like, it's smushed. It's not destroyed. He can still cook, okay? But he has to add that last pinch of flavor of his fist. You get what I mean? Karna can cook still. 100%. But somewhere, somehow, there's going to be a fist indentation on that food. Or Christmas design. Because he is Santa. Right? Don't forget about it. The man is Santa. Senji Murmatcher. He does have the circumstances of Emiya Shiro in his blood. Technically, he's gonna be like your secret final boss. He's like your 90 plus plus node, right? Because technically, he should be one of the elites of cooking. But technically, he's not in the kitchen. He barely is in the kitchen because he's always in the forge, right? But if he needs to, he's going to become that like shadow chef, right? The quote unquote the hidden boss, the 90 plus plus node, where he's like the final chef that you have to beat. I can definitely see, and you already know he's a chef. The boy cooks 100%. He's got the embodiment of Shiro. He's got that Shiro DNA. He can cook. Burgist. Burgist, let's be honest. You've already seen her in a CE. And her Bond CE, let's be honest, right? Her Bond CE is already fucking like delicious shit from, I think it was I think it's Max CE, right? Is that Bond CE or is that Valentine CE? Yeah, it's Bond CE. Stomach destroyer, right? Like, listen. The girl has low key. Burgess has one of the most strongest Bond CEs because of this. Because it's 500. Increased damage by 30%. Grants self buff that allows you to have a 30% chance to increase max HP by 500 for 3 turns. Meaning that every auto heals you for 500, which is kind of OP. At the same time, she is a chef. She is, elegant. If you need another chef on standby, Burgess is on the roster, right? As a backup. If the Elite 5s are missing, Burgess got you covered. Problem with her is that, like, if you tell somebody to cook this much, Burgess be cooking this much. It's not her fault. Proportion distortion is Burgess's problem. She be cooking good, but she be cooking for 20 people when they be asking for 2. That's about the problem she'll probably have. And she'll probably, like, learn how to ration it. Or, like, nerf herself a bit on the size of the cooking in the event. Okita Soji Alter. Ironically, chat, she can cook. She can cook, but she can eat you too. It's true. Saber, Okita Soji Alter can cook. Do you want to know why? The reason why she can cook is because Rengoku exists as a figure. Okay? Because technically, the chef is going to be him. He's going to be the chef. But he's going to try to make Okita, chef. So he's the instructor, supporter, technician, and all that shit. So she can technically cook, right? Technically, Okita Alter Saber can cook. Because you have Rengoku supporting her 1000%. Okay? Every movement, Rengoku is going to manage and make the cooking happen. Okay? That's why I said Saber can cook. Okay? Saber can cook. Trunk Sisters. Trunk Sisters can cook. 100%. These two can cook, no doubt about it. We've heard from the event. We've seen it from the event. I believe the pink sister cooks better than the blue sister. If I remember correctly, the event... I can't remember. It's Rengoku Ratatouille? Yeah, pretty much. I can't remember. She's good at cooking. But the blue one is actually good at, No. The blue is good at cooking. The pink is good at, desserts, I believe. If I remember correctly, they're both good at cooking, but their proficiency, in ingredient specialty differs. Because one was sweets, one was, like, food. I don't know if it's in their, shenanigans. Nope. It's not there. But, yeah, essentially, they're pretty decent at cooking. That's all I can say about them. Charlie. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Charlie can cook. Charlie can cook. If I remember correctly, he can cook. He's like the ideal cooker. Because he's Charlie. You get what I mean? He's the opposite of Carl. He's like the ideal king of Carl. So the man, if you teach him how to cook, he can cook. You get what I mean? Like, he probably won't be able to cook efficiently at the start, but once he thinks cooking is cool, right? Like, if he looks at, like, Shokugeki no Soma and, like, watch anime and shit and be like, yo, cooking's pretty lit, he's gonna be a fucking true chef, right? He's like, cooking's fucking cool! And he will learn how to cook the most complicated meal just to say cooking is cool, man. Just for that. If it gets his attention, if it gets the Charles stamp of approval of cool, he's gonna be the best chef. Like it might not be it might not be like regular cooking, right? It might not be a regular cooking, but it could actually be like a snack, right? Like dessert's fucking awesome. I love dessert. I want to learn how to make that dessert, right? Something will get his attention, and he's gonna be expert in that cooking, 100%. Roland, I don't know, Chad. What do you think about Roland? You'll probably see his ass butt ass naked by the end of cooking. That's just a fact, right? Nobody wants to try. I bet he cooks okay. I think he cooks okay because the man is a lover, right? He'd be the chef just wearing an apron. True. Yeah, he'll be the naked apron Tamamo style, right? Like if you don't know, Tamamo already has that, right? Tamamo Cat already has that in her third ascension. She's in her naked apron style. Um, but yeah, that's practically your Roland right there. Roland would do exactly the same as Tamamo Cat. Nothing else. He can't cook, but he'll just be a man that's half naked. I mean, yeah, I can see that portion. I can see that possibility. But I think he can cook to a decent degree, right? Because if he goes mad with love, to an instance, right? Um, no, I don't think he can. I think he has the possibility to cook. No, that's what it is. I think he has a possibility to cook. He has potential, but he can't unleash it because he doesn't have the patience to cook, right? A, he doesn't have patience to cook. B, simultaneously, anybody that's walking by that's female instantly forgets about cooking, right? He's like Astolfo, but more calm, except like a certain trigger occurs, right? Where he's gonna try to cook, he succeeds halfway, instantly distracted, and he's already naked, and nobody's gonna want his food. This guy is literally Ishiki from Shokugeki no Soma. Are you talking about like the voice actor? Or is he gonna be like the fucking food paladin? Where he's just to hear the fucking voices. No, I'm talking about the character. Okay. What did Ishiki do? I forgot. Who the fuck is Ishiki? He cooked naked? Oh, right, right. Wait, so does that mean he's gonna be a good smoker? Is that what you're talking about, right, Ishiki? Is that Ishiki from Shokugeki no Soma? Oh no, he's the fucking naked guy that looks like Gawain. Right, 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 right. Right, right, right. The guy that looked naked always when cooking and looks like Gawain. Yeah, same energy. I could see that. Yeah, I can see Roland getting to that. But remember, he's gonna definitely have a demerit. 100%. It's not gonna be him, but definitely same vibe when cooking for sure. But he's gonna get distracted if there's like any ladies around, right? Because he'd rather be suing ladies instead of cooking. So if you like lock him up in a room, maybe he'll cook something nice because he'll have ladies on the mind and be like, "This shit's gonna be lit for the ladies, baby. Come on, Riz time." But if he's like cooking in the open, he's just a fucking distracted dog that's like constantly naked. Like everything, like you have to put a curse on his ass so the apron doesn't come off, right? Like you're gonna have to like Medea seal or some sort of like a spell cast that binds the fucking apron onto him during the event so it doesn't come off. Gareth. I think Gareth Chan can cook. What do you guys think? Do you think she can cook? I think so. I think Gareth Chan can cook. I would like to see her cook in the fourth. I mean, her final ascension. In her fourth ascension. Third ascension. Excuse me. But I think she'll probably cook in her first ascension. Garrett can cook simple food. I can see that, right? He can make cooking streams on Twitch. That is true, Dan. 100% with a new TOS implementation. He's not showing any tits. He'll probably show ass on accident because he's twerking, right? Every so often due to Dono wall. But yeah, I can see that happening for Roland. Gareth, mm, I don't know if Gareth can cook. I think she can. But I think she can learn to cook. I don't think she'll start out cooking well. Like I think she can make the most simplest dish. But she can level up. Like I think she's Gareth, one of the few characters that can learn how to cook. Just because it'll appease the king and his brother, her brother, right? Oh shit! I haven't heard this song, which is Jackson Wang, "Fire to Fuse." God damn, it's a good song. No, Garrett can cook. Can't cook. Why can't she cook? Power. Why can she not cook? Tell me why she cannot. Engines and away. Thinking about rolling now, I feel bad for Charlemagne. 3 nights we have all known. For wardrobe issues and defects. That is true, but it is what it is, right? They kept the wardrobe effect meme in the craft essence on Roland, and Charlie, while Charlie likes to be naked as well, that wasn't his main thing. And Astolfo's practically naked every day, so we don't need to do anything for Astolfo because the fan base got Astolfo covered. Let's be honest. Never mind, you just explained that Gareth can learn how to cook. Okay, yeah. So you're talking about in the beginning, Gareth can't cook. Yeah, I can definitely understand that power, right? Like at the beginning, she's gonna try to cook, and it's like kind of trash, and like you're gonna have an event or like a side quest where you see Gareth learn how to cook little by little, and that'll allow it's the Saber form, right? Because the Lancer form, she can't cook because she's a little too uptight. So she can only cook basic shit in her Lancer form. But in her Saber form, she's more lax, she's more understanding, she's more ideal. And then you got Dogo, right? And then Dogo's gonna be like her support. Can't wait for extra classes to have alien gods and animals. Hey, true. Same. Yamanai Keisuke. The boy can cook. Like, he's a intelligence man. The boy can cook. Yamanai definitely has the intelligence to cook, if needed to be. Due to the sheer fact that he's not an offensive combatant. Part of the Shinsengumi, he was definitely a cook, right? He was one of those people who retains information and decodes it so like dummies can understand. Simultaneously, he was like the man who did a lot of things. big brain style. So, he can cook. He can already cook, but for the sake of her waifu, he can level up to be a better chef, I bet. And if you don't know her waifu is, don't worry about it. You'll learn about it later. Actually, you learned about her. Oh no, you didn't learn about her because you'll learn about it in the next event. Yeah, you'll learn about her waifu next event. So just understand that he can cook. Why? Because he's the one cooking instead of her. Even though in technicality she did cook for him a little bit, but yeah, your boy essentially cooked for her, therefore he can cook. A 70. I think your boy's a little too rambunctious to cook, but I think he can cook camping shit. I think if you tell him to cook like basic like Knights of the Round Table, right? Like if you tell them to be like, "Hey, cook this ingredient from outside," I think he can. He can grill. That I think so too. I think the boy can grill. That's a good word. He's about to grill that fish. True, true. Right? Yeah, I think he can grill. I agree with that. Because he does have to cook in order to. Well, technically, he doesn't have to cook for the doggo, but you get my point, right? He can definitely grill for sure. Medusa's Saber. She can cook, 100%. Why? Because if the elder sisters ask, right? If the two sisters ask for her to cook, she gonna cook. And especially her body is not that big. She's not gonna have that omega complex. Therefore, this is also a younger version of herself, so she'll definitely be curious. She can cook because she's my waifu. Yep. Damn, dude. That instant YEP keg W. But I can definitely see Medusa. If she can't cook, she can learn to cook so she can cook for her sisters, right? 100%. Definitely. Of course, it's gonna have to be in her first ascension because obviously with a fucking riot shield and a divine armors and shield, it ain't gonna work. All right, last but not least, Theseus. Do we know any story about Theseus? I think it's a little too. We have little to no information about Theseus besides this event, right? That we just had, for the Grail front. So I'm gonna tell you straight up. I think Theseus can cook, but at the same time, we don't have enough information in FGO lore to guarantee that position. You get what I mean? From the looks of it, the man is a very good with his hands, and he does have brain to an extent, and he was part of Argonauts, so probably. He could probably cook decently, like bare minimum, due to the fact that he did dungeon crawl. He did technically dungeon crawl, so technically he can cook. Yeah, so like if we summon Theseus technically during like Omega Caves, we practically win. Because he has instinct slash parentheses labyrinth B plus plus. So he can definitely like if he steals somebody else's like knife, he'll probably able to decently use it. So I think he's the type that can cook, right? I think he's the type that can cook while watching. Because specifically right here that he says he has a weaponry artist information trade where he says he once stolen a weapon and used that weapon to fight back. It says, yeah, because he has a rank B, he could definitely take some heroic weapons, not legendary weapons, right? Like it's not he can't steal like a holy blade, demonic lance. Anything that is within the rank of divinity or sacred, I don't think he can steal. But in essence, he can technically steal most of basic weapons. So, yeah, I can see him being able to cook. I think Theseus is gonna be a cook where he can't cook at first, right? The man can't cook at first, but he will look at everyone's cooking. He's like an observer. He's an observer chef. He ingrains that shit in his brain cells. So until he does it, he wouldn't recognize he can do it. But once he starts cooking, he'll be like, ooh, I've seen this cooking technique from XYZ servant. And then he's going to fucking mimic that to an excellent degree, right? It's not going to be perfect, right? If you try to fight like one of the emperors versus Theseus, it's not going to be a perfect cooking because Theseus only can copy to a certain extent. But I think once he learns the copy ability, I think my boy can cook. I think so. Because of the lore specifically states right here that he has a aka learning on the fly of weaponry, aka martial weapon um, reactionary response. He can definitely observe their cooking, and by observing their cooking, he can once he gets the weapon right, once he gets the knife in his hand, he can mimic it to an extent. So I think Theseus can cook, but at first he won't be able to cook. He's gonna be a jumbling mess. But once he sees like like cooking advice. Like once he actually goes to cooking lessons, I think my boy can cook because his motivation would definitely be able to cook delicious food for your boy, specifically Astorius, right? Because if you don't know Astorius, he kind of resents what he had to do for Asterius. So, in order to make Asterius eat some good food, that is, he's definitely going to have the motivation to become the chef to provide comfiness and then also be a wholesome episode. I think that is about it for all the Sabers chat for the cooking classes possibility. But whenever we got the time again, we should definitely do the Lancer one. We're going to do it for all the class because why the fuck not? Now you guys got me like curious. But remember, this is all my theory. This is all my opinion. It's not facts, okay? So let's get that shit straight before we end the shenanigans. But yeah, in the very end, this is all my thought process, all my theories of if we get a cooking event, which servants will be pretty funny or, what their background stories are. So thank you guys so much for coming. Greatly appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.